Being one of the greatest athletes in the world definitely comes with more cash than you could ever imagine. And when you're worth over $200 million like the King of Clay himself, you can pretty much do whatever you want with your fortune. Million-dollar cars, $5 million on a single mansion, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is how Rafael Nadal spends his millions. His garage. And we have to start with his million-dollar car collection, because it turns out that Rafa isn't just the King of Clay, he's also the King of the Street. Plus, what's the point of being a multi-millionaire athlete if you can't brag about a few four-wheeled whips in your garage? You see, in Rafa's case, it's even more intense because the Spanish tennis star is the brand ambassador of the biggest car brand in South Korea, Kia. So it's not surprising that Nadal has a few fancy cars in his garage. But what's impressive is that this guy doesn't just have a car collection. He's got a collection of not 2, not 3, but 7 luxurious cars. Including this bad boy, a Mercedes-Benz AMG G63. Now, if we're being honest, this whip is more than just a car. It's a lifestyle. This baby has a 416 horsepower engine and 450 pound-foot torque that can take you from 0 to 60 miles in just about 5 seconds. Pretty insane, right? But what's even crazier is that this car alone cost him a whopping $138,000. Anyway, when your ride comes with incredible features like that, you've got to admit it's worth every penny. But what if we told you that the Mercedes-Benz AMG is not even the top 3 in the Spaniard's collection? The Spanish legend also has this beauty, the Ferrari 458 Italia, in his garage. Judging by the looks alone, you know that this is no ordinary car. This beauty can go from 0 to 60 in just 4 seconds. How's that even possible? Well, that's because it comes with a dynamic V8 engine that would make even Vin Diesel jealous. But while the Ferrari 458 Italia and the Mercedes-Benz AMG G63 are 2 incredible cars, they are not Nadal's favorite car. That title goes to his Aston Martin DBS, which Nadal didn't have to think twice about before dropping a whopping $334,700 on. And if you think it looks familiar, that's because it's the same car James Bond used in the movie Casino Royale. Now that's what you call a classic. Anyway, if you think Nadal's car collection is insane, wait until you see his house collection. Born and raised in Mallorca, Spain, Rafa knew exactly what he wanted when he turned pro in 2001. A mansion fit for a king. So just 2 years after he turned pro, the Spaniard set his sights on a beachfront property in Puerto Cristo, Mallorca, where he had grown up, and he dropped $5 million to get it. But Rafa didn't just stop at buying this fancy new property. He wanted to make it his own. So what did he do? He rolled up his sleeves, got to work, and spent 7 long years renovating the property to make it a true reflection of his unique style and personality. And like you'd expect, it was worth every penny and every second. Even though we have no idea how it looks after renovation, we know that the mansion has stunning views of the Balearic Islands and everything you could ever imagine. You could even say the mansion is the ultimate expression of Rafa's success. But if you think this is the only $1 million property the tennis star owns, then you're very wrong. You see, according to Business Insider, Rafa snatched up a 19th century building in Madrid for $30 million, and then teamed up with a group of partners to turn the building into a high-end residential property that'll make your jaw drop. They also went ahead and bought 4 more buildings in Lisbon for a whopping $80 million. The plan is to transform the buildings into luxurious living spaces in one of the hottest locations in Lisbon. And with Rafa's sharp business sense, these properties are going to be worth more than gold in a few years. But here's the final icing on the cake. Back in 2012, the tennis superstar dropped a cool $2 million on a jaw-dropping villa in Playa Nueva Romana in the Dominican Republic. This place is so epic, it'll have you wondering if you should take up tennis just to afford something like that. Now, let's get something right. Nadal doesn't just enjoy living on islands because of the spectacular view. The tennis star also loves to cruise in the sea, and that was why he made the most insane $7 million purchase that'll make your jaw drop. You see, Nadal loves the sea just as much as he loves tennis. So when he decided to switch up his yacht game, he didn't just dip his toe in the water. He went all in. Back in 2019, the Spanish tennis legend said goodbye to his trusty MCY-76 motor yacht, which he named Beethoven, and used the $3.8 million he made from the sale to upgrade to this, his very own customized catamaran Great White. Now, we're not just talking about any old catamaran here. This is the 80 Sunreef Power, the ultimate in luxury cruising. It's kind of like trading in your golf cart for a Lamborghini. As a kid, Rafa was zipping around his home island of Mallorca in his father's Riviera powerboat, so he knows a thing or two about boats. But it wasn't until he chartered the Great White that he realized what he had been missing out on. In his words, "Those 7 days with my family on board were unforgettable, especially thanks to the huge amount of space and comfort." I mean, if we're being honest, when you're one of the greatest tennis players of all time, you need space to spread out and relax, due to all of the stress that comes with rigorous practice and the pressure to win. And let's just say that this catamaran understands the assignment when it comes to giving the Spaniard a great time. For one, it's the largest boat that can dock in Rafa's small port in Mallorca, and he's taking full advantage of every inch of it. From spacious cabins to multiple decks, this catamaran is a floating palace that would make even a Kardashian jealous. Now, you're probably thinking that Nadal just splurges his millions on fancy stuff just for fun. But you know, that's where you kinda have it wrong. Rafa might spend a few million on luxurious things, but the tennis star is always looking for ways to multiply his fortune. So, back in 2014, the Spanish superstar joined forces with the all-time football GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo, and opened his first luxury restaurant in Madrid, called Tatel. Now, when you've got two sports legends in the kitchen, you know you're in for a treat. Tatel is a restaurant in Madrid that's all about giving the best traditional Spanish cuisine a modern twist. We're talking Iberian ham, paella, seafood, and all the most expensive wine you can think of. The place is so fancy, it has hosted everyone from the Spanish national football team to the ATP World Tour Finals. And it's not just a one-hit wonder either. The Spanish restaurant has expanded to Miami, Ibiza, Beverly Hills, and even Dubai. Now that's some serious globetrotting for your taste buds. But Rafa didn't just stop at owning one of the best restaurants in Spain. He also went out to invest in two other fancy restaurants in Maria Bonita and Zela. His first investment was in Maria Bonita back in 2016. This amazing restaurant is a Mexican joint in Madrid that's all about authentic, drool-worthy dishes. Zela, on the other hand, is a Japanese restaurant with locations in London, Ibiza, and Dubai. Rafa teamed up with his longtime pal Abel Matutes Jr. for this project in 2017, and he's been busy showing up to launch events and promoting the place like it's his business. And if we're being honest, it is his business. In addition to his chain of restaurants, Rafa has also invested in a project that's near and dear to his heart. You see, being one of the best tennis players to walk the earth, Nadal thought very deeply of the best ways to cement his legacy in the tennis world. And when you're a 21-time Grand Slam winner, what better way to do that than by passing on your expertise to the next generation? So, back in 2016, Nadal opened his very own Rafa Nadal Tennis Academy in his hometown in Mallorca. This academy has got everything you could ever want in a tennis facility. I mean, we're talking about an academy with 26 clay courts, a stadium court with seats for 1,500 spectators, indoor hard courts, a fitness center, a sports science laboratory, a swimming pool, and even a dormitory for players. But the real star of the show is the training program. Based on Nadal's own playing style and philosophy, it emphasizes physical fitness, mental toughness, and an unwavering never-give-up attitude. And with a coaching staff that's top-notch in every way, from coaches to trainers to physiotherapists to nutritionists, it's no wonder that some seriously talented players are emerging from the academy. Carlos Alcaraz, for example, is a product of the academy, and it looks like he's on his way to potentially becoming the next Nadal in the near future. And honestly, we have to give Nadal his flowers for the brilliance of this investment. It doesn't just diversify Rafa's income, it also increases his personal brand value and opens up more opportunities for more investments and millions of dollars in endorsement deals. Nadal has continued to prove to the world how much of a legend he is when it comes to multiplying his millions. And to top it all off, the tennis star is reportedly launching his own hotel chain, Zell. And it is scheduled to open its first post in Mallorca, Spain within 2023. He also has plans to expand to over 20 international locations, including Madrid, Paris, London, Asia, and the Middle East. Now, if that doesn't tell you how much of a financial genius Rafa is, I don't know what will. That's all for today, folks. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to learn more interesting things about your favorite tennis players.